And we are live. Good morning to everyone. It's around 9 a.m. Central Time, October 21st of 2020. And we are live from the closet with Gabi Natale like every day around this time. And as every day, I want to take a moment to say hello to everyone in all the different platforms. This is a simulcast. I don't know where are you tuning in from, but we are simulcasting for many different platforms. So we're going to say hello to the people in Facebook, hello to everyone in YouTube, hello to everyone on LinkedIn, hello to everyone on Twitch, hello to the people on Twitter, hello to everyone. I'm sure I'm forgetting one of the platforms. In Twitch are gamers. Hello to everybody in Twitch. Hello to everybody on Instagram. So hello everybody. I hope you're starting your morning with the right foot. As I always say, these are your 10 minutes, 15 minute stop to build an oasis for you, an oasis for your energy, to set your intention and start the day with the right foot. Today I'm wearing one. Today I wanted long hair. To start my day, I'm wearing one of my hair pieces from Welcome All Beauty. This is the Break the Internet in Cajeta Meld. So, yesterday I was writing the introduction to my new book that is coming in January 2021 with HarperCollins Leadership. And I wanted to write something in the introduction that will be like my dedication or something that I wanted to say to my readers, something new. And I started thinking, how can I define my readers? How can I define the people who connect with my message? And they truly are the underdogs. It's the people that sometimes they walk into a room and nobody's paying attention. Or sometimes are the people who, if they are in the group, they maybe are not the ones who are considered the most likely to succeed, but they are very hard workers and they end up coming on top at the end. But they are not the ones that usually most people are betting on, because either they are, many of them are immigrants, or they are women, or they are from minorities, or they are from groups that sometimes are underappreciated, or from groups that sometimes are disregarded. So this book, the introduction, is going to have like this love letter that I have for my underdogs. And I was thinking about how important is this concept, and how beautiful, how poetic is this concept of underdogs. And that is why I said I was gonna do today's segment regarding the underdogs, on the underdogs, and how important it is to figure out what is your best strategy, your winning strategy, if you are an underdog in your space, which many of us are. So I'm reading your comments. Good morning, Gabi from San Diego, California, says Faride Cisniega. Good morning. Diana Aro Muñoz. Buenos días, Gabi, desde Casa Grande, Arizona. Buenos días, Diana. Beautiful Casa Grande, Arizona. So, tell me about yourselves. Do you consider yourselves to be an underdog, and in what field? Or have you had any experience where you felt the underdog and you won any way? I've had many experiences in my life, from creating content, starting in a carpet warehouse and with a small show that ended up winning at the Emmys, beating CNN and beating so many big networks, to just arriving in a new country with 2 pieces of luggage and starting a new life in a place where you have no friends or no family members. So many things. Sometimes you are the one in a class that even when you study really hard, you are not the one who has the best grades, but you're very passionate, so you feel like you're the underdog. Or you're in a job and you are working very hard and you don't feel the recognition, so you're feeling like I am the underdog, nobody's paying attention to what I'm doing. So today's topic is going to be, are you an underdog in your space or in your industry? So today we're going to talk about a few strategies that you can use if you are an underdog. Hola desde Venezuela. Hey, hello, Luis Eduardo Santa Colona Herman. Good morning desde Venezuela. So we're going to start like every day our live with Gabi Natale from my closet. We're here in quarantine, and we're going to start like every day right after the opening credits in 20 seconds, right after this. There has never been a better time to be a pioneer than right now. Diversity is beautiful! Thank you! Good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone joining us. And if you have just joined, today's topic is going to be, are you an underdog? And if you consider yourself the underdog in your space or in your industry, what are the smart strategies? What are a couple of ideas, couple of strategies that you can have in your toolbox today to think about your future, to plan your next steps? So the first one, if you are an underdog, is do what is doable. Of course, if you're an underdog and you're in business, it means that your staff is smaller than many of your competitors. Your budget is smaller than your competitors. So you have to be very strategic regarding the niche you want to be in, but also what is it that you can do with a smaller staff, with a smaller budget, but that is just as good or even better than your competitors. For me, for example, in my career, producing content, I know that I was not going to be able to create the next America's Got Talent, the next reality show, the next mega show. But I knew that I had an advantage if I wanted to create content that geared towards interviews. I knew that because I am very dedicated and I am very curious and I have sometimes obsessions that I used in my favor, I was going to research on that particular guest that I was inviting, maybe harder than my competitors. I was going to be able to give it a different twist, a different flavor, a personal signature to whatever I was doing. And I also knew that I had one thing that I think it's very important, and it is because I produce my own content, I was in the privileged situation in a way compared to some people who work for somebody else, of interviewing people that I truly honestly care about. Even if they are not the hot topic of the day, the hot topic of the week, I was very interested in interviewing certain people. And so there's been people that I have interviewed in my life that maybe they were not the hot person at the moment, but they had a trajectory, they had a career, they were legends, from Carlos Santana to Deepak Chopra to Isabel Allende. So many people that sometimes, if they give them space in other shows, what they have, sometimes it's not as much time because they are not the hot person of the moment, but they are so interesting. And I knew I was fascinated by them. I could study so much about them, and I could take the time to actually figure out what were those key pivotal moments in their lives and in their careers. I could also create a special environment where they felt welcome, because sometimes when you're creating content in the industry, everything is fast, and then you have to edit it to make it short. And I love the art of conversation, and I love listening to them. So I was very intentional, and I am very intentional in creating concepts and creating projects that are doable when you are an underdog. Another example is my hairline, welcomeallbeauty.com. I knew that I could create a hair extension line even if there were bigger players, because this is an industry that I believe is still very young and up for disruption. So you have to be very strategic when you're thinking about what is your strategy as an underdog and how you can see an opportunity. Faride Cisniega says, budget is where I feel I am underdog. It's probably the hardest hurdle, but we keep going forward. Exactly. You have to keep going forward, but also it's not just about, yes, I'm going to keep going forward and I'm going to be persevere and I'm going to make it happen. Yes, that is a part of the equation, but another part of the equation is, yes, I have a smaller budget. How can I be strategic on what is important, what is not important, what is a priority, what is not a priority, and how can I differentiate myself? And that brings me to the second one, the second strategy that you can use if you are an underdog in your space or your industry, and that is turn your perceived flaws as into your competitive advantage. Turn your perceived flaws into your competitive advantage, and this is something that is done so many times when you see, for example, advertising agencies. You have the big advertising agencies and you have smaller ones, but the smaller ones, they don't call the underdogs. They don't call themselves, I'm the smaller one, or I'm the one with the least funding, or I'm the one with the smaller team. They're very smart because they are in advertising and marketing. And what they call themselves is they call themselves a boutique agency. So what they're doing is they're turning this perceived flaw into their own advantage, into their strength, because everybody wants to feel like, oh, this is boutique, this is personalized, this is a place where people are going to pay more attention to me. I am a client, but I'm not going to be just a number here. I'm not going to be one more of the clients that this big agency has. What I have is I have the luxury of having a one-on-one treatment with the owners, or a one-on-one treatment with the key players here, which is something that I wouldn't have if I was in a big agency. So how can you turn this perceived flaw of having a smaller team or having a smaller budget into something that will be your trademark, into something that will be your advantage? Some people call it a white glove treatment. Some people like to, if they are offering spa services, they want to have it like more private, more exclusive. It's all about also how you present it. Think about how you can make it different, how you can give it your own flavor, how you can offer something your competition is not offering, but at the same time using that perceived flaw to your advantage. So that would be the second way to have a winning strategy if you're an underdog and you have less money and less people in your team than your competitors. Liku says good morning. LinkedIn, good morning, Gabby. And then let's go to the other one. And Carlos Guerra is saying, I have a YouTube channel. What can I do for advertising? Okay, Carlos, I think if you have a YouTube channel, I don't know, I don't have the information about your YouTube channel, but I think a good idea, if you're thinking about yourself as an underdog, is what can you bring to your YouTube channel that in a space as crowded as YouTube, other people cannot bring. I don't know your experience. I don't know your lane of work. I don't know your profession. But what is the value? What are the things that people can take away? Something that you can teach, something that you can share, something that you can tell other people so that you can differentiate yourself from the other channels. So with the little information that I have, Carlos, I don't know, I'm seeing your profile picture. It looks like you're artsy. I don't know if that's Times Square or where are you? But think about it. What is it that is unique about Carlos Guerra that you can bring to your own YouTube channel to differentiate from the rest? And then let's talk about the third strategy. And this is something that is very dear to my heart. When you are an underdog, there are not a lot of expectations. There are not high expectations for you. There are no high expectations for what you're doing or for your project. And that is sometimes discouraging because you have to pitch your idea so many more times and you have to share your project so many more times for people to pay attention, because people are not paying attention. But the other side of this thing is that when you are being underestimated, when you are an underdog and nobody's paying attention to you, there's another side to the coin, and there's an unexpected advantage, and that unexpected advantage is that people don't see you coming. So you are the competitor nobody's paying attention to, or you are the contestant nobody's, thinking about beating. So there's beauty in that, and there's power in that, because you know inside of you that you have value. You know inside of you that you have a good project. You know inside of you that you have a good idea. You know inside of you that you have a good business. So if people around you cannot see it in the beginning, and they are not threatened by you or your project in the beginning, that will give you an advantage of being doing the most you can do, being the most you can be, and still not having people feeling threatened by you. So you can grow at least to a certain level without being on under other people's radar as a competitor. And that is fantastic, because sometimes if they are not paying enough attention, by the time they see you, by the time that you show up, by the time your business is there, it's kind of late, because they have to do so much more work to stay competitive. So I think that's it's not something that we want, not to be seen, not to be heard, not to be estimated. But there's another side, like in any situation in life, there's the good side and there's the bad side. And so in this situation of being underestimated or unseen by the rest, there's also this beauty of nobody's seeing you coming, nobody's seeing you rising, nobody's seeing you improving. And by the time they see you, back, it's a surprise. So that, I would say, it's the beauty of being underestimated. Irene Williams is saying, we have to show our accomplishments for others to pay attention. Sometimes we outperform the average person. Absolutely. I am somebody who is 100%, 110% for being an advocate for yourself, being an advocate for your own accomplishments. Because sometimes people say, oh, it makes me feel uncomfortable, I'm not going to toot my own horn, or, people will feel that I am, being pretentious. And I don't think it's that way. If you are playing a game and the other people are making sure everybody knows what their accomplishments are, and you are the ones that is staying silent, guess what? You have less of a chance to stand out from this very busy crowd. So put your fear to the side, put your shame to the side, and be your best advocate. You have to advocate for your own accomplishments. You have to advocate for yourselves first if you want to convince others that what you bring to the table is valuable. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't advocate for yourself, who is going to advocate or believe in you? So that is something that I am, as you can see, I'm very passionate about it. Liliana Ospina says, that happens to me all the time. One recent example was my award, Talentos Latinos. Nobody thought I was going to do it, and I did it. It was a success. Well, good for you, Liliana. Exactly. And there's something that I always say when it comes to low expectations or to stereotypes. And if you heard it before, excuse me, but I'm going to repeat it time and time again. And it is, what is a stereotype? What is a stereotype? Sometimes people, have low expectations, or we face a stereotype, or they stereotype us. So what is a stereotype? Pay attention. A stereotype is nothing but someone else's opinion about me or someone like me. It is only an opinion, not a fact. But if I mistakenly take that opinion as a fact, if I mistakenly take that opinion to be true, if I mistakenly believe in those low expectations about me or people like me, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, a self-fulfilling promise. So that's why we have to check all the time what we believe about ourselves. It doesn't matter if somebody wants to put us in a box. The important thing is what we believe about ourselves to be true. So be very careful with the stereotypes and with other people's expectations about you or people like you, because if you believe them, they can become self-fulfilling promises. Catalina is saying we can learn and grow in the process while getting experience for when we get more noticeable, but never stop believing in ourselves. Absolutely. So let's recap on today's topic. For those of you who have just joined, today we're talking about, are you an underdog in your space or in your industry? Here are 3 smart strategies for you. The first one, do what is doable. Of course, if you're the smaller one in your industry, like for example, I put the example of when I started creating content, I was not going to be the next America's Got Talent or the next reality show or Big Brother. You have to do what is doable. For me, doing what is doable is creating content and doing interviews. I love doing interviews. And just like that, throughout the years, I started in a carpet warehouse and I was able to syndicate my content and to win 3 national Emmys, beating CNN and many other players who were bigger in my space. Now, the second one is turn your perceived flaws into your competitive advantage. We talked about this when we discussed, for example, an example that we gave, advertising agencies. Smaller advertising agencies, they never call, I am the understaffed or under-budgeted or under-financed advertising agency, because their brilliance is in marketing. They turn the perceived flaw into an advantage, and they don't call themselves I'm the small agency or I am the understaffed agency. They call themselves I am the boutique agency. I am the one who's gonna treat you very personally. I am the one where you are going to get to meet the owner. I am the one where I'm going to make you feel a human, not just a number. So they are turning perceived flaws into advantages. The third one is being underestimated has an unexpected advantage. Nobody sees you coming. So these are the 3 winning strategies that you can use when you are an underdog. And as I always say every day, start your day, do the most of it, keep seeing life and the world with the eyes of possibilities. And remember that when you open yourself up to the world opens itself up to you. Make the most of your day. Today we went over time. It's 22 minutes, but I love hearing from you. Les mando mis besitos. See you tomorrow.